I don't know how many people remember this, but Mortal Kombat did get announced with a Legacy Collection that was coming out. And now we finally have a full list of games that are going to be coming out as part of the Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection. And it is insane. Basically, outside of the 3D Mortal Kombat games, which we got from the PS2 onwards, before that point, all of the 2D games, or the closest to 3D as it gets with Mortal Kombat 4, are basically the kind of games we're going to be getting as part of the Retro Legacy Collection. I said retro because that's very much what this is. This is very much a retro games collection. And it might very well be the ultimate retro games collection when it comes to the Mortal Kombat series. And when you think of modern Mortal Kombat, most people would start from maybe Mortal Kombat 2009. So basically the reboot, which is basically Mortal Kombat 9 going into Mortal Kombat X, which people call 10, even though technically the X is not supposed to be a number, but sure. And then you got Mortal Kombat 11, and then you got Mortal Kombat 1. That's what people consider to be sort of more modern. But in the middle of the sort of classic that we're getting in this collection and the modern that we currently have, we have the 3D games in between, like DC versus Mortal Kombat Armageddon. There's so many more. Deception was another one. Like, there's a bunch of stuff out there that we could be getting in another collection later on down the line, which would be pretty good to see. But with that being said, though, let's talk about the actual games in this trailer. So, we didn't know about the full release until now, and now we have the official announcement of the actual games in that collection. And they look a lot like this. So, it has Mortal Kombat 1992, so the original Mortal Kombat, and we get 4 versions of it. The arcade, the SNES, the Genesis, the Game Boy, and the Game Gear. 5 versions of it. We then get 4 versions of Mortal Kombat 2, which came out in 93, arcade, SNES, Genesis, Game Boy, 32X. Then we get Mortal Kombat 3, 3 versions of that, 1995 of course, the original release, arcade, SNES, Genesis, Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3, also 1995, arcade and SNES. So I think that was like later on in the year, if I remember correctly. Mortal Kombat 4, 1997. This is the arcade version that we're getting. So unfortunately, the console version, more so of console releases of Mortal Kombat 4 were, I think it was N64, wasn't it? Could be wrong about that. Is closest to the 3D games that I'm talking about when I talk about, the PS2, PS3 games that don't include or don't go past the release of Mortal Kombat 9, or the 2009 reboot rather. Mortal Kombat 4, yeah, like I said, is the closest thing to the 3D Mortal Kombat, but still very much a 2D game because we gained the arcade version specifically. And Mortal Kombat Advance 2001, Game Boy Advance. Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance. Now, this is actually also one of the 3D games, but the problem is it's the GBA version, which came out in 2002. So that is still very much 2D pixel art, not pixel art, 2D fighter basically. And the same thing with Mortal Kombat Tournament Edition 2000, which released in 2003. So that is already a lot. It says that there's more to be announced, but I'm very, very skeptical at that point because I feel like we've gone down almost the full list of 2D Mortal Kombat games, because we're now going into an area where even people who aren't, people who are heavy Mortal Kombat fans aren't going to be able to name those games. Like, I certainly am not able to, because from this point, next thing that I kind of look at is it possible they're going to announce Armageddon and stuff like that? I really do hope so, but we probably won't know until later on or when the game actually releases. And as far as I've been able to tell, we don't actually have an exact release date, do we? No, it's just the Legacy Collection, developed and published by Digital Eclipse, which I feel like we can kind of say that the the quality might be a little bit dodgy there. But we'll have to wait and see what the release is actually like. Does it play well? Does it look good? Hopefully there's no bugs and glitches or anything like that, because again, we're bringing really old games onto modern systems. And generally, you don't think there would be any sort of problems, but we've seen problems with games being brought forward before, so that's not to say something like this isn't going to happen in any other way. And luckily, for some of the additional stuff, which I really like, is the fact that we're going to be getting online play. All the secret characters can be unlocked with the touch of a button, and access the developer menus, which I can't remember if you're able to do that with the arcade and original versions. There could be a good chance that that might be the case, but we don't know exactly whether or not that's going to be the case. So yeah, it's going to be a good time. Oh no, we do have a release date, October 30th, 2025. Never mind. I take it all back. We do actually have a release date, and it is the day before Halloween, which seems incredibly fitting for the Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection. But with all of that being said, though, let me know what you guys think about the games that we've got so far for the Legacy Collection of Mortal Kombat. Obviously, we do know it's coming out on PC, PS4, PS5, Switch 2, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X. Fascinating to see how this whole thing is going to shake up. But with all that being said, like I said, like the video if you liked it, subscribe to the channel. I'm aiming for 500 subs by the end of the year. With all that being said, I do upload every day, so I'll see you guys tomorrow.